Okay, have you ever had that feeling? You're in a store, like a stationery store, and you're browsing, and there are all these beautiful notebooks. You know those leather-bound ones with those gorgeous, like, thick, creamy pages just begging for you to, like, fill them with all your brilliant ideas. But then you flip it over, you see the price tag, and poof, inspiration gone, right?
Oh, yeah, it happens to the best of us. It's that classic dilemma,
Yeah.
like the allure of those premium notebooks. It's undeniable. They're beautiful, but the cost, man, it can be a real barrier, especially when you need a bunch of them, like for your business or for your team.
Right, exactly. And it's funny because, like, premium notebooks only make up a small percentage of overall sales, like 20%. At least that's what I read in this article by Leo Shia. But their crazy prices have actually pushed people to look for, like, more affordable options, which now dominate the market.
That's so interesting. Like, think about it. That desire for quality, but at a reasonable price, has fueled a whole new category of notebooks.
Mm.
And that's kind of what we're going to dive into today. Affordable alternatives that don't skimp on style or, substance. We're going to be looking at this article, like I said, by Leo Shia. It's called What Are Affordable Alternatives to Premium Notebook Brands?
Perfect. And just a heads up, Leo actually works for a company that makes these kinds of notebooks. It's called Lion Paper. So, full disclosure, there's a bit of a sales pitch kind of woven in. But
Mm.
honestly, the information he shares is super valuable,
Mm.
especially if you're looking to like level up your notebook game without, spending a fortune.
Totally, yeah. And he does a great job of breaking down all the different types of affordable notebooks out there, like what makes each one unique and how they compare to those like, fancy premium brands. He even has this handy table that compares everything side by side, which I think we should definitely get into a bit later.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so maybe we should just address the elephant in the room, the premium notebook problem. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. They feel amazing in your hands. But are they really worth all the hype? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it from like a business perspective, premium notebooks just equal higher overhead costs, which eat into your bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Plus, you're often limited in terms of customization options, so it makes it like harder to really showcase your brand identity if that's something that's important to you.
And what about like bulk orders? If you're trying to get, your whole team decked out in these sleek notebooks, the costs can really add up, right?
Oh, for sure. And that's where affordable alternatives like really come into play.
Yeah.
You can still get that quality and the functionality you need, often with way more customization options and for a fraction of the price,
Mm.
honestly. It's all about finding that sweet spot where value meets performance.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But before we get too lost in like a cost benefit analysis, maybe we should talk about what these affordable alternatives actually look like. Leo divides them into three main categories: customizable notebooks, planners, and journals. So why don't we break down each one and see what they're all about? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. So customizable notebooks, right? Think of those as like a blank canvas. You
Yeah.
get to create exactly what you need. It's not just choosing a notebook, it's like building one.
Okay, so it's more than just slapping like a company logo on a pre-made notebook, right?
Way more. You can choose like everything. The paper type, like do you prefer smooth paper, textured paper, thick paper, thin paper? And then the pages themselves, like do you want them lined, grid, dot grid, blank? And then even the binding. Do you want a spiral binding, a sewn binding, a
Hmm.
Coptic stitch binding, which is like more of a handcrafted look?
Wow, so you can really get into the nitty-gritty, huh? That's really cool. It's like tailoring a suit, but for your notebook.
Yeah, exactly. And that level of customization allows you to really reflect your brand's personality, right? Like, let's say you're a design firm. You might want bold colors and a really unique layout. But if you're, say, a law firm, you probably want a classic, understated design, but with really high-quality paper for taking detailed notes.
Right, right. So it's not just about saving money, it's about having that freedom to create something that represents your brand.
Yeah.
And I bet that's a big deal for a lot of companies, especially those who want to like make a statement.
Absolutely. And Leo actually mentions in his article that something like 50% of mid-sized businesses use these customizable notebooks for corporate gifts and supplies,
Hmm.
which is like a really smart move. It's a
Yeah.
way to showcase your brand, but still stay within budget.
Yeah, for sure. It's like subtle marketing, right? It's practical and stylish at the same time.
Exactly. It shows you're putting thought into every detail, which I think goes a long way in building trust and loyalty with clients.
Totally. Okay, I'm sold on the concept. But before we jump to planners, is there anything else we should know about customizable notebooks, like in terms of the materials they're made of or how they're produced?
Oh, yeah, good point. One of the big advantages here is the variety of materials that you can get. Like, those premium notebooks, they usually just stick to like high-end leather or really thick cardstock.
Mhm.
But with affordable options, there's a much wider range. You can find notebooks made from recycled paper, bamboo, even cork or like vegan leather.
Oh, wow. So you can be eco-conscious and stylish at the same time.
Exactly. And because a lot of these companies cater to larger orders, they often have more flexible supply chains, which means they can source all these like unique materials and still offer a wider range of customization options.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, I think I'm ready to move on to the next category, customizable planners. I have a feeling this is where things get really interesting, especially for all the productivity nerds out there, like myself.
Oh yeah, for sure. Planners are where things get really dialed in, like functionality and personalization really converge. It's not just about scheduling appointments anymore. It's about organizing your whole life, setting goals, and maximizing your productivity.
Yeah, yeah, tell me more. I'm all about that life.
So the level of customization you can get with affordable planners is honestly pretty mind-blowing. You can choose from tons of layouts like daily spreads for people who like to break down their day hour by hour, or weekly spreads for a more like holistic view, or even undated layouts for total flexibility.
That's so cool. It's like having a planner that actually adapts to how you work and how you plan.
Exactly. And then you can get even more specific with the features,
Mhm.
like habit trackers, goal setting pages, even sections for project planning.
Wait, hold on. There are planners with sections for project planning? That's amazing. I need that in my life.
Oh, yeah, there totally are. And it goes even further. You can get planners with budgeting pages, meal planning sections, fitness trackers. It's all about creating this like comprehensive tool that helps you stay on top of everything.
That's incredible. It's like having a life coach built into your planner. No wonder these things are so popular.
Right. And then, of course, you have the design element, like those customizable notebooks. You can choose all the colors, patterns, even add your own branding. So you end up with a planner that reflects your personality or, your company's vibe.
It's all about those little personal touches, right? To make it feel like it's really yours. And I bet that's another big selling point for businesses, too.
Oh, absolutely. Customizable planners make awesome corporate gifts, you know. They're practical, they're stylish, and they show that you actually put some thought into choosing a gift that people will actually use, not just some, generic company calendar that ends up in the trash.
Yeah. Totally agree. It goes back to that idea of subtle brand reinforcement we were talking about earlier, right? Like, it's not just a gift, it's an extension of your brand identity.
Exactly. And because they're often produced in larger quantities, you can get all sorts of, like, unique features and customization options, things you wouldn't be able to get with smaller production runs.
Right. So you get more bang for your buck and a product that's actually tailored to your needs. Got it. Okay, so we've covered customizable notebooks and planners. Now I'm kind of curious about journals. I used to think of them as like just for personal reflection, but I'm sensing there's way more to them than I
Oh
realized.
yeah, you're totally right. Journals have had like a major makeover in the past few years. They've gone from like simple diaries to these like really versatile tools for creativity, brainstorming, even professional development.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So like how are people using them beyond, traditional journaling?
Well, have you heard of like bullet journaling? It's become super popular. It's this system where you can basically customize your journal to track anything you want, habits, tasks, ideas, even like your mood.
Wow. Okay, so it's like a super personalized organizational system that can like adapt to your needs.
Exactly. And because there's no like predefined structure, you have all this freedom to experiment and figure out what works best for you.
I love that. And I bet it appeals to a lot of different people, right? Students, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone who wants to be more organized or just needs a creative outlet.
For sure. It's for anyone and everyone. And then there are journals that are designed for specific professions,
Mm.
like journals for writers with prompts and exercises to get you going, journals for artists with high quality paper perfect for sketching, even journals for therapists to keep track of, like client sessions.
Wow, that's amazing. It really is a whole world of possibilities. They've really gone beyond their original purpose, huh?
They have, yeah. And don't forget about the actual experience of like writing in a journal,
Yep.
in this world where we're constantly on screens. There's something really grounding and satisfying about putting pen to paper.
Totally, totally. There's like an intentionality to it that you don't get with typing. And speaking of like the physical experience of a journal, I've noticed that a lot of these affordable journals are using more sustainable and eco-friendly materials, which I love.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of companies are using recycled paper, bamboo covers, vegan leather, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So you end up with a journal that's beautiful and environmentally responsible.
Yeah, I love that. It's awesome to see that commitment to sustainability, even in the more affordable options. Like you don't have to choose between quality, affordability, and, being eco-conscious.
Exactly. And that brings us back to Leo's main point in his article,
Mm.
that affordable alternatives aren't just some compromise, they're actually a smart choice.
I'm convinced. Okay, so we've gone through those three main categories: notebooks, planners, and journals. But how do they actually stack up against those premium brands? Like, if we're talking features, quality, all that good stuff.
Well, Leo has this really helpful comparison table in his article. He looks at 5 key things: customization, price, materials, bulk ordering, and branding. And spoiler alert, the affordable options consistently outperform the premium brands in every single category.
Okay, I'm interested. Tell me more. Let's start with customization. What are the main differences there?
So with premium notebooks, you usually have very limited options for customization. Maybe you can pick from like a few colors or add your logo, but that's about it.
Mm.
But affordable alternatives, they give you way more choices. You can personalize the cover, the paper, the binding, the layout. Pretty much every aspect can be tailored to exactly what you need.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's like comparing like a custom-made suit to something you'd buy off the rack, right? One is made specifically for you. The other is more of a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy. And that level of customization goes for planners and journals too. You have so much power to create something that truly reflects your style or your brand.
I love that. Okay, what about price? I'm guessing affordable options win that one by a mile.
Oh yeah, definitely. Premium notebooks are just expensive, especially if you need to buy a bunch of them. But affordable alternatives are designed to be, well, affordable. You can get what you need without emptying your wallet.
And I imagine that those savings can be pretty significant, right? Especially for businesses that order in bulk.
Oh, absolutely. Even a small difference in price per notebook can add up to a ton of savings when you're buying hundreds or thousands of them.
Mhm.
And then you can take that money and put it back into your business or other important things.
Right, it's like a ripple effect of saving money.
Exactly. And it often applies to shipping costs too, Affordable brands usually have better logistics and supply chains, so they can offer better shipping rates, especially for bulk orders.
Okay, that makes sense. What about materials? We talked about that a bit earlier, but are there any major differences between what premium brands use and what you see in affordable options?
Yeah, so premium notebooks tend to use a pretty limited range of like high-end materials,
Hmm.
like leather, thick cardstock, or paper that's imported from somewhere fancy. And those materials are nice, they're durable, but they're also really expensive. And a lot of times they have a bigger impact on the environment.
So it's kind of a trade-off, right? Luxury versus sustainability.
Yeah, pretty much. But with affordable alternatives, there's this whole movement towards using recycled, sustainable, or ethically sourced materials. You can find notebooks made from recycled paper, bamboo, cork, even stuff like mushroom leather or stone paper, which is pretty cool.
Wow, I haven't even heard of some of those. It's awesome that companies are pushing the boundaries like that,
Yeah.
using materials that are both beautiful and good for the planet.
Totally. And it's not just a marketing thing either.
Hmm.
A lot of these companies are genuinely committed to reducing their environmental impact. Like they're using responsible forestry practices, reducing waste, using recycled materials whenever they can.
So you can feel good about your purchase knowing that you're supporting a company that's actually making a difference.
Exactly. And I think that really resonates with people, especially younger generations, who are more aware of the environmental and social impact of what they buy.
Right. It's not just about getting a cool product anymore. It's about what that product represents.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things that's driving innovation in the affordable notebook market. Companies are having to come up with creative solutions that are both sustainable and stylish.
Okay, I like that.
Hmm.
So what about bulk ordering? I feel like this is where affordable brands really have an advantage.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bulk ordering is a big deal for businesses, schools, any organization that needs a ton of notebooks. And premium brands, they often have limited production runs, so they might not be able to handle those big orders, or they might need like a really long lead time.
So if you need like 1,000 notebooks for a conference next month, you might be out of luck with a premium brand.
Yeah, most likely. But affordable brands, they're set up for larger orders. They usually have more flexible supply chains, so they can scale production to meet the demand. It means you can get your notebooks when you need them and within your budget, even if you need a massive quantity.
And I imagine that flexibility applies to customization too, right? You're not just stuck with a few pre-selected options.
Nope. You can often customize bulk orders down to each individual notebook. So you can create really personalized gifts or promotional items, each one tailored to the person receiving it.
That's amazing. It takes personalization to a whole new level. Okay, last but not least, branding. We talked about how important brand identity is, but how does that play out in the world of notebooks?
So branding is all about creating that consistent and recognizable image for your company, right? And notebooks can be a really powerful tool for that. But premium brands usually only offer really basic branding options. Like maybe you can add your logo, but that's about it.
So it's more about their brand than yours, right?
Exactly. But with affordable alternatives, they embrace the opportunity to showcase your brand. You can customize the cover, the paper. You can even add like inserts with your company's mission statement or key messages, things like that.
It's like turning a simple notebook into a walking billboard for your brand.
Kinda, yeah. And that level of branding can have a real impact on how people see your company. When you give someone a beautifully designed notebook with your logo and your message, it comes across as professional and thoughtful.
Yeah, it's like a subtle marketing tool.
Exactly. And because people often use notebooks in professional settings like meetings or conferences, they're constantly reminded of your brand. It's like subtle promotion every time they open it up.
Right, right. Okay, I think we've covered all the main points of comparison. And it seems pretty clear that affordable alternatives have some serious advantages over those premium brands, especially when it comes to customization, price, materials, ordering in bulk, and branding.
Yeah, I think so too. They're not just a budget-friendly choice. They're a smart choice for pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
And I think the key takeaway here is that affordable doesn't have to mean sacrificing quality or style.
Totally agree. But even beyond all those practical benefits, there's something really inspiring about this whole concept. It's about giving people the power to choose products that align with their values, their budget, their individual needs.
Yeah, it's about making those things accessible to everyone.
Exactly. So we've talked about the what and the why of affordable notebook alternatives. Now I'm curious about the how. Like, how do we actually find the right notebooks for our specific needs? And how do we navigate this whole world of options?
Ooh, those are good questions. And that's exactly what we're going to be diving into in the final part of our deep dive, so stay tuned.
Yeah, planners are where it's at. They really take functionality and personalization to a whole new level. Like, it goes way beyond just jotting down appointments.
Yeah.
It's about organizing your entire life, setting those big goals, and like figuring out how to actually be productive.
Yeah, I'm all about that. And from what I've seen, the level of customization you can get with these affordable planners is pretty amazing.
It really is. You've got so many options for layouts. You've got daily spreads for people who like really want to break down their day hour by hour. Then you've got weekly spreads for a more big picture view, and even undated layouts if you want like total flexibility.
That's so cool. So you could basically have a planner that fits your specific way of working and planning.
Exactly. And then you can get even more granular with the features. Like you can have habit trackers to keep yourself accountable. You can have goal setting pages to like really define what you want to achieve. You can even have sections for project planning. Hold on, hold on. Planners with project planning sections. That's genius.
Oh yeah, they're out there. And it doesn't stop there. Some even have budgeting pages, meal planning sections, fitness trackers. You can basically create this all-in-one tool that helps you stay on top of like everything.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like a life coach built into a planner. No wonder everyone's obsessed with them.
Right. And then, of course, there's the design element, just like with customizable notebooks. You can pick your colors, patterns. You can even add your own branding. So it's like you end up with a planner that really reflects your personality or, your company culture if you're giving them as gifts.
Right, those little touches make all the difference. And I bet businesses love that aspect too.
Oh, totally. They make fantastic corporate gifts. They're practical, they're stylish, and they show that you put some actual thought into it, not just some random generic calendar that's going to end up in a drawer somewhere.
Absolutely. It goes back to that idea of subtle branding, right? Like you're giving a useful gift, but also reinforcing your brand identity at the same time.
Exactly. And because these planners are often made in larger quantities, you can get all these cool, unique features and customization options, stuff you wouldn't be able to get if you were just ordering a small batch.
So it's like you get more for your money and a product that's truly tailored to your needs.
Okay, I'm getting the picture. So we've talked about customizable notebooks and planners. Now I'm kind of curious about journals. I used to think they were just for personal thoughts and reflections, but I'm starting to think there's a lot more to them than meets the eye.
Oh, you're definitely right. Journals have gone through like a major transformation the past few years. They've gone from basic diaries to like these versatile tools for all sorts of things.
Mhm.
Creativity, brainstorming, even professional development.
Okay, I'm all ears. How are people using them beyond, like, the traditional journaling?
Well, have you heard of bullet journaling? It's become super popular.
Mm.
Basically, you customize your journal to track whatever you want, like habits, tasks, ideas, your mood, anything.
So it's like a really personalized system for staying organized. Exactly.
Yeah.
And since there's no set structure, you can experiment and figure out what works best for you.
That's really cool. I bet that appeals to all sorts of people: students, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone who wants a creative outlet or needs help staying organized.
Yeah, it's for everyone. And then there are journals
Yeah.
specifically designed for certain professions,
Yeah.
like journals for writers with prompts and exercises, journals for artists with special paper for sketching, even journals for therapists to document their sessions.
Wow, that's amazing. Journals have come a long way.
They really have. And, don't forget about the actual experience of writing in a journal.
Mhm.
Like in this digital world, there's something really grounding about putting pen to paper.
Totally agree. It's like a more mindful experience. And speaking of that physical experience, I've noticed that a lot of these affordable journals are using more sustainable and eco-friendly materials.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of companies are using recycled paper, bamboo covers, vegan leather, all sorts of cool stuff. So you get a journal that looks good and is good for the planet.
I love that. It's great to see that commitment to sustainability, even in the affordable options.
Yeah, it shows that you don't have to choose between quality, affordability, and being eco-conscious. And that brings us back to Leo's main point. Affordable alternatives aren't a compromise. They're a smart choice.
I'm convinced. Okay, so we've covered notebooks, planners, and journals, but how do they actually compare to those premium brands, like in terms of features, quality, all that?
Well, Leo has this comparison table in his article. He breaks it down into 5 categories: customization, price, materials, bulk ordering, and branding. And, spoiler alert, the affordable options win in every category.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's start with customization. What are the big differences there?
So with premium notebooks, you're usually pretty limited in terms of customization. You might be able to pick from a few colors or add a logo, but that's about it. With affordable alternatives, you have way more choices. You can personalize the cover, the paper, the binding, the layout. Basically, everything can be tailored to exactly what you want.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
It is. And that same level of customization applies to planners and journals too.
So you can really create something unique.
Exactly.
Okay, what about price? I'm assuming affordable options win that one hands down.
Oh, for sure. Premium notebooks can be really pricey, especially if you need to buy a lot of them. Affordable alternatives are designed to be, well, affordable.
Makes sense. And those cost savings can really add up, especially for businesses that order in bulk.
Yeah, totally. Even a small difference in price per notebook can make a big difference when you're ordering hundreds or thousands of them. And then you can take that money and use it for other things.
Exactly. Okay, what about materials? We touched on that earlier, but what are some of the key differences between what premium brands use and what you see in affordable options?
So premium notebooks tend to stick to a limited range of high-end materials, like leather, thick cardstock, imported paper, that sort of thing. Those materials are definitely nice, but they're expensive,
Mm.
and they often have a bigger impact on the environment.
So it's like luxury versus sustainability.
Yeah, pretty much. Affordable alternatives are embracing a wider range of materials, includes a lot of recycled, sustainable, and ethically sourced options. You can find notebooks made from recycled paper, bamboo, cork, even stuff like mushroom leather and stone paper.
Wow, some of those are really innovative.
They are, and a lot of these companies are genuinely committed to reducing their environmental footprint. They're using responsible forestry practices, reducing waste, and incorporating recycled materials whenever possible.
So you can feel good about your purchase. You're getting a great product and supporting a company that's doing good things.
Exactly, and I think that resonates with a lot of people, especially younger generations who are more conscious of those things.
Right. It's not just about the product itself anymore. It's about the values behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what about bulk ordering? I have a feeling affordable brands have a big advantage here.
Oh, definitely. Bulk ordering is a major consideration for businesses, schools, any organization that needs a large number of notebooks. And premium brands, they often have limited production runs. So they might not be able to handle those big orders, or they might need a really long lead time.
So if you need like 1,000 notebooks for a conference next month, you might be out of luck.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
Affordable brands are geared towards larger orders. They have more flexible supply chains, so they can scale production to meet the demand.
That makes sense. So you can get your notebooks when you need them and within your budget.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing that flexibility extends to customization too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You can often customize bulk orders down to each individual notebook, so you can create really personalized gifts or promotional items.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
It is.
Okay, last but not least, branding. We've talked about the importance of brand identity, but how does that apply to notebooks?
Well, branding is all about creating that consistent and recognizable image for your company.
Right.
And notebooks can be a really effective tool for that. But with premium brands, branding options are usually pretty limited. You might be able to add your logo, but that's about it.
So it's more about their brand than yours.
Exactly. But affordable alternatives really embrace the opportunity to showcase your brand. You can customize the cover, the paper. You can even add inserts with your company's mission statement or key messages.
So you're essentially turning a notebook into a representation of your brand.
Yeah, pretty much. And that can have a real impact on how people perceive your company. When you give someone a well-designed notebook with your logo and your message, it makes you look professional and thoughtful.
Right. It's like a subtle form of marketing.
Exactly. And because people often use notebooks in professional settings like meetings and conferences, it's like a constant reminder of your brand.
Okay, I think we've covered all the key points of comparison. It seems clear that affordable alternatives have a lot of advantages over premium brands.
I agree. They're not just a budget-friendly option. They're a smart choice. And the key takeaway here is that affordable doesn't mean you have to sacrifice quality or style.
I couldn't agree more. But even beyond the practical benefits, there's something really cool about this whole idea. It's about giving people the power to choose products that align with their values, their budget, their individual needs.
Yeah, it's about accessibility and making those choices available to everyone.
Exactly. So we've talked about the what and the why of affordable notebook alternatives. Now I'm curious about the how. Like, how do we actually find the right notebooks for us? How do we navigate this whole world of options?
Those are great questions. And that's what we'll be diving into in the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about these like amazing, affordable notebook alternatives. And I don't know about you, but I am ready to ditch those overpriced premium brands and just like fully embrace the power of customization and value, you know?
Oh yeah, it's a real game changer once you open your mind to all the possibilities. You really can have quality and style and sustainability without, having to spend a fortune. But now comes the fun part. Actually putting this knowledge into action. We have to find the perfect notebooks for you.
Right, exactly. We've talked about the different types like, customizable notebooks, planners, journals, but there are just so many brands and options out there. Like, where do we even begin?
Okay, so the first thing is to really figure out what you're looking for. Like, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things you absolutely have to have in a notebook?
So it's kind of like making a notebook wish list, right?
Yeah, exactly. Think about things like size. Do you need something small and compact, for taking notes on the go? Or do you want a bigger notebook, like for sketching or brainstorming?
Okay, size, got it.
Then there's the paper. Do you prefer a smooth surface for writing? Or do you like a more textured feel? Especially if you use fountain pens or you're into drawing.
Right.
And don't forget the binding. Spiral, sewn, lay flat. They all give you a different experience.
So many choices. It's like those personality quizzes, but for notebooks.
Totally. And once you have a good idea of your ideal notebook, then you can start looking at different brands and comparing what they offer.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we even navigate this whole world of notebook brands? It can feel overwhelming.
I hear you. Well, a good place to start is online marketplaces like Etsy or Amazon Handmade. You'll find tons of independent creators and small businesses there that specialize in handcrafted notebooks.
Oh, that's a good idea. I love supporting small businesses.
Me too. Plus, you can often find really unique designs that you wouldn't see anywhere else.
It's like a treasure hunt for the perfect notebook.
Exactly. And don't forget about reviews. Read what other customers are saying. It can give you a really good sense of the quality and the overall experience.
Yeah, reviews can be so helpful, especially for those smaller brands that you might not have heard of before.
Absolutely. Word of mouth recommendations are gold.
Okay, so online marketplaces and reviews, check. What other resources are out there?
Well, You can't go wrong with specialty stationery stores. They usually have a curated selection of like really high quality notebooks from different brands, and it's a more personalized shopping experience.
Right, you can actually see and touch the notebook.
Exactly. Plus, the staff usually really know their stuff. Don't be afraid to ask for recommendations.
It's like having a personal notebook shopper.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you're looking for something truly unique, you can even commission a custom notebook. Like, have one made just for you.
Wait, seriously? You can get a completely bespoke notebook.
Oh, yeah. There are some incredibly talented bookbinders and leatherworkers out there. They can create one-of-a-kind notebooks based on exactly what you want. You pick the materials, the size, the layout, everything. You can even add personalized details like engravings or embossing.
Wow, that's the ultimate level of notebook customization.
It is. And you know what? It might seem like a luxury, but custom notebooks can be surprisingly affordable, especially when you think about the craftsmanship and the sentimental value.
It's like a piece of art that you can actually use.
Exactly. So whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who loves notebooks, there's an affordable option out there for you.
And the process of finding it can be just as fun as actually using it.
Totally. It's all about exploring different options, trying new things, and ultimately finding a notebook that reflects your style and your needs.
And the best part is, you don't have to sacrifice quality or sustainability.
Exactly. There's so many brands out there that are committed to ethical and sustainable practices.
It's about making choices that align with our values.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of affordable notebook alternatives, I want to leave you with this thought.
Go for it.
Your notebook is more than just a bunch of pages. It's a space for your ideas, a companion on your journey, a reflection of you.
I love that.
So embrace the power of the affordable notebook and see what you can create.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into affordable notebook alternatives. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and learned a thing or two, and maybe even feel inspired to, go out and find your own perfect notebook.
Happy writing, everyone.